Can I just say thank you very much for inviting me today. When I looked at the background papers, it said something about, oh, Paul knows all about our organisation. And by heck do I know about your organisation. I've been on the council 21 years, and I've dealt with KFTRA over that period of time, and we've had good times, bad times, all the other in-between times and everything, but I've always actually thought that it was one of the best things, and I have to say this, it was one of the first in the country, was KFTRA, of its type, to represent, for people to represent themselves, actually in a specific type of committee, to ensure that they got what they deserved on, at that time, what was housing management committees. So I want to thank you really for this invitation today, because it is special to me. And I want to welcome everyone here. Obviously, it's the launch of the rebranding of KFTRA. And I actually think, as we were walking around, people were saying, it'll always be KFTRA to me. And it will. But I have to say this also. KFTRA has a long history, and it's thrown up a lot of people, characters, whatever you want to call them. I've put down a few here: Cliff Whiteley, Kevin Jordan and Cora Carter. I have to say that they've represented you, and a lot of people are here from various sort of tenants and residents associations, but they've represented you extremely well. I've been in housing 25 years, and I work for a housing association for over 23 years, and I have to say this, that KFTRA were far better than any of the associations we ever had, because in one way you was extremely united and getting things done. Been helping tenants obviously, and being part of some fantastic investment. Everybody's fully aware of that, about your involvement in decent homes, and something that you've got to be proud of about decent homes is that you were part of that. KFTRA was part of that, and you actually got and still have a lovely home, a well looked after home, and that's something the local authority and K&H are proud of. And they've actually been looking after many a tenant that wouldn't normally get themselves involved. And I think that in itself, you talk about social mobility, social isolation. I've been saying this morning that a lot of these things that are happening now, you look at all the craft clubs, they're springing up like nobody's business. But I actually think these are really good types of activity that stop people actually being lonely in their own properties. And that's something you ought to be proud of too. But from time to time, it's actually good to look at yourself and think of changes to reinvigorate something that is working but could work better. And it's this reinventing of yourself through this change in name that I'm hoping will make you go from strength to strength. Because we all are under pressure from and I'm not supposed to be political, and this is not political, it's fact. We're all under a tremendous lot of pressure from government cuts and changes in services that actually come from them cuts. And that's causing a lot of pressure on us. So I actually welcome the launch of the name change. And if it does bring something out of it, I think it'll be for the better. It'll force some sort of changes. In my own ward, our KFTRA has not actually come to the fore, and it's actually folding. But the fact is that it's coming under various guises, is representations within the community, and our community centre actually drives that. But we want to, as I say, reinvigorate this fact that KFTRA and communities that can actually want to represent them, and that's where we as elected members, and this is something to elected members, is ensure that communities who can are the representatives of these tenants on these estates, because they have a long history of helping people. But I want you to continue the good work. Don't forget what has worked, and take our tenants with you. Thank you very much.
But I'd just like to say a big thank you to the relaunch of KFTRA into communities who can. And it's there in the words, your volunteers, and people have not to forget that every minute or every hour you give us is voluntary. And it's about showing appreciation. We do thank you for the work that you do out there. We can't do it. As we said, we can't make this political today, but the budgets are cut. But it's nice to see communities coming together from across Kirklees today and celebrating something that's going to be invaluable. And the Mayor did touch on this. It's not forgetting your roots and what it's about. It's about coming together and leading our communities into a future that we don't know what's going to be like, but we know we've got the grassroots, we've got the experience, and today I've walked around all the stalls, and it's been an inspiration from the craft club to Turnstay, all the communities out there, what you do. So I want to give you, and put your hands together and give yourselves a round of applause, because without you it wouldn't happen.
I'll give Kirklees now, because I know that she's got to get off for a meeting.
I've got to go to Cabinet, so I shall speak to you later, but I will be telling them all about it and tuning in. And there should be councillors coming throughout the day, because we have advertised the fact and circulated it round. So well done to you. Thank you.
It's been a long journey for KFTRA. I think we've already said that, and we've already covered it. Ever involving and changing. Yes, it has ever involved and changed. It is important we still see the tenants and residents and communities at the heart of our organisation. This is their and your organisation. We are now communities who can, and this is our new brand. We aim to continue our work with a strong network of over 100 groups, all whom do amazing work. Some of them are here today, and some of them are showcasing their work. As a member of the board and communications officer, it makes me proud to see the breadth of work covered in our communities. Everything from intergenerational working to youth clubs, families, luncheon clubs, summer play schemes, to craft clubs, to fitness classes. It would be impossible really to list all the things that we are involved with. And I always say to people when they want to volunteer, if you can only give 1 hour, it means so much to a lot of people out there that we're trying to help. What I would like to say is that none of this could happen without our strong partnerships. This applies to communities who can, our TRAs, our community voices, and community-led organisations. Things are made possible by working together with the police, the schools, health, K&H, and especially Kirklees Council, who we're indebted to, by the way. Ward councillors and the voluntary sector, to name just a few. I hope that you will get a glimpse of the inspirational work that volunteers do in our communities. I believe this country would grind to a halt without the sterling work that some of these groups do. Health and well-being of the people in our community is a priority. Tackling social isolation. Finally, may I thank the Mayor of Kirklees, Councillor Paul Kane, and Councillor Cathy Scott for the words, for supporting us today, and to all those partners and staff at Communities Who Can. But most importantly, I would like to thank the hard work and dedication of both the board and volunteers, without whom we wouldn't have an organisation.